Caroline County. Before we get started, I have just a couple of little housekeeping things that I would like to mention to everyone. First of all, we request on behalf of the family that there are no cell phone pictures or photography in the courtroom while we're having this ceremony today. We have an official photographer that has been assigned to the family, and Mr. Fred Watkins, as you see here, will be taking pictures on behalf of the family throughout the afternoon. We also have Jeff Voigt upstairs, who is doing the filming, and it will be live streamed on YouTube, as well as live streamed into the town of Bowling Green. So we're very, very pleased that you'll be able to tune in to the Caroline County Board of Supervisors YouTube channel at any time and watch this again and again and again. With that said, on behalf of Caroline County and the historic town of Bowling Green, I would like to welcome you and our viewing audience over in the Bowling Green Town Hall to a remarkable afternoon. Here we are in one of the most active, constructed in the late 1830s, is used several days a week by our judicial system. The building was added to the National Register of Historic Places in the 1970s after only undergoing a slight renovation. So pretty much as you see it is how it was when it was built. As I'm sure you've noticed, we proudly exhibit a portrait of our county's namesake, Queen Caroline, wife of King George II. And we can only imagine the history that she has witnessed over the course of decades. You know, I'm sure all of us have heard the saying, if only these walls could talk. Let me assure you, today, these walls are talking. The voices of Richard and Mildred Loving are speaking directly to this family. Loving family, and I'm going to cry at this, all of us are both humbled and honored to spend this afternoon with you. For the county, this effort began last March during a conversation with my boss, Gary Wilson, who's somewhere up on the top, Director of Economic Development and Tourism. From there, our next conversation was with Mr. Charles Culley, County Administrator for Caroline, and he was all in from the jump on this project. Next steps were to seek the permission of the courts. Judge Victoria Willis, Chief Judge of the Circuit Court, Susan Monarchy, the clerk of the court, who granted us every request we had to sneak in here and look at this courtroom again. Sheriff Scott Mosier, we are forever grateful for your guidance as we follow the safety protocols for use of these facilities. Their approvals were absolutely necessary in order for us to prepare the submission to the U.S. Civil Rights Trail Organization. So although we had a strategy in place of what to do and how we should go about it, as if the historic Caroline Courthouse campus to be selected, we were a long way from actually putting the application together for the formal submission. I would like to introduce to you Mr. Christopher Williams, Assistant Director of the James Farmers Multicultural Center at the University of Mary Washington, and he has the rest of our story.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the kind introduction, Ms. Kathy. My name is Chris Williams, as was previously stated. I'm the Assistant Director of the James Farmer Multicultural Center. I want to start off by welcoming everyone to this historic occasion today. I want to welcome the Caroline community, members of the Loving family, United States Congressman Eugene Vindman and his wife, Virginia State Delegate Nicole Cole, President and CEO of Virginia Tourism Corporation, Rita McClenny, representatives from Senator Warner's office and Senator Kane's office, members of the Board of Supervisors, and other esteemed guests. We are very excited to bring everyone together for this announcement and are pleased that despite not knowing what this announcement is, you, the community, have shown up. We are grateful that Caroline shows up. I want to take a moment to give some background information about how we got here. In late June, Ms. Kathy Beard contacted Victoria Matthews, my partner in the Fredericksburg Civil Rights Trail, that we spent about 4 years cultivating. To inquire about the process of getting Caroline County selected to become included on the United States Civil Rights Trail. Shortly thereafter, Victoria contacted me and asked me if I'd like to join her to meet Kathy and Caroline to discuss everything we did to get the Fredericksburg Civil Rights Trail onto the United States Civil Rights Trail. On July 1st of 2025, I rode down to Caroline County with Victoria to meet Kathy. After spending the day together, we were able to provide guidance and offer our assistance in any way to help her get the historic sites related to the Loving versus Virginia case in 1967 onto the United States Civil Rights Trail. During our meeting, we mentioned that we could connect her to two of my colleagues at UMW, Dr. Steve Hanna and Dr. Christine Henry, who played a role in helping us develop the GIS map and website for our trail in Fredericksburg, and finding historical documents and collaborating on obtaining state historic markers to highlight the significant civil rights and Black history in the city of Fredericksburg. Within a month's time, Dr. Henry was able to locate the original documents related to the arrest of Richard and Mildred Loving and subsequent materials. A couple months later, Dr. Hanna and his student E. Tyler partnered with Cortland Caldwell in developing the GIS map for the 4 sites related to the Loving case. After submitting the application for Caroline County's campus to be considered for addition to the United States Civil Rights Trail, Kathy contacted me because she was adamant about creating a partnership with Miss Peggy Loving Fortune to include her in the next steps of the process. Due to my connection to her granddaughter, Lenadia Loving, I gave Lenadia a call. Lenadia is one of my former students at the University of Mary Washington. When we first spoke, I couldn't tell her that Caroline County had achieved something monumental, but I insisted that it was important for me to speak with her father or grandmother. A couple weeks passed by, and then one day I received a call from her father, Mark Loving. We spoke for about 90 minutes. You remember that phone call? I asked him if I could speak to his mother, Miss Peggy Loving Fortune, about the importance of what we were working on. And I had to let the cat out of the bag and tell him about the historic achievement and why we wanted to include not only his mother, but other members of his family moving forward. Thankfully, he told his mother what we were trying to do. So on New Year's Eve, Miss Kathy and I met Miss Peggy, her son Mark, Tracy, granddaughter Lenadia at, you all know where Giuseppe's is? Yeah, that's where we met. I think most of us got cheesesteaks. And as they say, the rest is history. So here we are today to recognize this noteworthy achievement with many members of the Loving family in attendance. I want to thank them for trusting me and Kathy throughout this process and for being incredibly open and supportive. I would like to take the time to acknowledge the team responsible for making this all possible. Victoria Matthews, Dr. Steve Hanna, Dr. Christine Henry, Cortland Caldwell, and UMW student Keith Tyler. This is not in the script, but I'm going to say it anyway. So before I introduce someone, I just want to take a moment to thank the Loving family. Thank y'all. Now I'm pleased to introduce Vice Chairman of the Caroline Board of Supervisors, Jeff Teelitz.
Good afternoon. How do you do, Mark? I have the distinct honor today to announce that Caroline County's historic courthouse campus will be included in the prestigious United States Civil Rights Trail. This designation commemorates a story which has become universal and close to the hearts of citizens across our great country. This is the story of the courageous stance of Richard and Mildred Loving, who won the right we enjoy every day to marry as we please, regardless of race. Virginia-born, Caroline County natives, the Lovings' fundamental commitment to one another sent this issue of interracial marriage to the Supreme Court. The unanimous court decision in their favor in 1967, the law of the land, and knocked down a barrier that now allows all citizens a more complete exercise of their civil rights. Only one of 6 locations in all of Virginia our historic courthouse campus consists of. This courthouse and courtroom, the Sidney E. King Art Center, formerly the Sheriff's Office, and the clerk of the court building, the old jail, and the state historic marker located on the corner of Route 301 and Sparta Road. To Peggy, to Mark, and to all the Loving family, I can only begin to imagine the profound thoughts and feelings you must be experiencing today as you come together in a place where Richard and Mildred in 1958, as newlyweds, stood before Judge Bazell. While this building is an intricate and important part of this narrative, their story did not begin here. It began when 2 young people from a unique community called Central Point simply fell in love. At this moment, it became a story we can all identify with, and the journey which subsequently led to the right of all of our citizens to marry who they choose. At that moment, and all the moments that followed, the most basic American rights of freedom and the pursuit of happiness were at stake. The right to live in one's own home and to marry the one they love. To the family, all assembled here today, I was told many times that Mildred did not seek attention or accolades for her actions, but simply wanted to live in Caroline to raise her children with her family and in her community. Mildred wanted to come home. Although she is not with us today in body, I have no doubt she is here in spirit today. Congratulations to the family on the journey. Thank you. I have the honor of recognizing the elected officials that are here. And I'm going to start with the Caroline County Board of Supervisors. Up top is Mr. Floyd Thomas. In the back is Mrs. Nancy Long. From the school board, Mr. Mike Hubbard. Mrs. Jawanda Rollins. Mr. Lydell Fortune. Mrs. Allison Sears. The clerk of the court, Susan Menarche. From Town Council of Bowling Green, Mayor Tina Gamble. Gene Davis. Valerie Coyle. The videographer up top, Mr. Jeff Voigt. And in the back, Mr. Randy Hageman. we've all heard that we need to thank the sheriff, and I want to thank him again, Mr. Scott Mosier and Major Travis Nutter. The Town of Bowling Green Chief, Justin Cecil. And as a rare pleasure, the Mayor of Port Royal, Mr. Alex Long. I want to mention some other figures in the community. The President of the Historical Society, Miss Kathy McVeigh. And two of the founding members of Historic Port Royal, Miss Cleo Coleman and Miss Cookie Davis. I want to thank everybody that has come today and everybody online and to this great event, and look forward to seeing everybody over at Town Hall. With that, I'm going to introduce, and I would like to now introduce the President and CEO of the Virginia Tourism Corporation, Ms. Rita McClenny. The Virginia Tourism Corporation is the state agency responsible for promoting the Commonwealth as a premier travel destination and film production location. Their mission is to increase domestic and international visitation and motion picture production, generating revenue and creating jobs throughout Virginia. Under her leadership, Virginia's tourism industry has experienced a steady 5.4% year-over-year growth. The agency has earned several industrial accolades, including the U.S. Travel Association's Mercury Award and Afar Magazine's Distinguished Destination Award. Ms. McClenny serves on numerous boards and advisory councils and has been named one of Virginia Business Magazine's top 500 leaders for 4 consecutive years and was inducted as a 2025 Junior Achievement Business Hall of Fame laureate. With that, please come on down.
Thank you, Vice Chair Seeley. Mayor Long, you were putting your hand up, sir. Were you going to say something?
Yes, we have Councilman and Lady.
Well, this is certainly the most distinguished room I have been in a very long time. And my heart is warm. Peggy, so great to see you again. Mark, great to see you as well. And the Loving family. It's a profound honor to be here in this moment where we're making history. And this family has made history and continues to make history as the young legacy and the young members of this family grow and will go on to do great things just like their grandparents. And this historic Caroline County Courthouse campus, say that 5 times, is now definitely in the history books for a different reason. This place holds deep significance, not only in Virginia history, but in American history. It was here that Mildred and Richard Loving were tried and convicted for simply choosing to love one another. But their courage, resilience, and quiet determination will ultimately help change the nation. We're especially honored to be joined by the family. Your presence reminds us that these stories are not distant history, they are personal legacies that live within your hearts. The United States Civil Rights Trail was created to recognize the people, places, and moments that shaped civil rights movement and advanced equality and justice in this country. Today, the Caroline County Courthouse campus joins a national collection of sites, primarily across the South, where individuals challenged injustice and helped move our nation forward. And we continue to do that work. Inclusion in the United States Civil Rights Trail affirms the national importance that this site represents, that the loving story is preserved and shared as a part of our nation's history. The loving story continues to reach new audiences through the film and storytelling from Loving feature film, which helped share this powerful chapter in history on the big screen in 2016 with the support of Andy Edmonds and the Virginia Film Office, and the Loving v. Virginia opera that was performed by Virginia Opera and the Richmond Symphony. Virginia history to museums. It is embedded in our communities, our landscape, and the places like this very courthouse where pivotal moments unfolded and lives were changed forever. Tourism, when managed responsibly with care, is a powerful tool for education, preservation, economic vitality, and the United States Civil Rights Trail represents that and balances that. Today's announcement will continue the loving legacy and inspire conversations about equality and justice and love across this country, because we know that love heals all. At its heart, today is about honoring the loving family and ensuring their story continues to be told with accuracy and care. Loving care. I'd like to thank Kathy Beard, Victoria Matthews, Jane Lammy with Virginia Tourism, who works on our United States Civil Rights Trail sites in Virginia. This is a proud moment for us at Virginia Tourism and for Caroline County, for Bowling Green, and for everyone to honor our shared history. And I'd like to thank our Congressman Vindman for being here with us today, sir, and Delegate Cole for being here with us. Thank you. And Chris, good to see you again. I know we've done this, right? We got it going. And forever, we will continue to talk about and share this story with the world. It's now my honor to introduce Congressman Eugene Vindman. He proudly represents the 7th District of Virginia as both a dad and a 25-year Army veteran. When he was just 4 years old, Eugene and his family fled Soviet Ukraine and searched for the American dream with less than $800 in their pockets. Eugene grew up in New York, where he attended public schools and public university before joining the Army and the infantry, paratrooper, member of JAG. He served as an international law advisor in Iraq, a senior prosecutor in the busiest jurisdiction of the Army, as a White House National Security Council deputy legal advisor. He's dedicated his life to serving our country and has decided to continue his mission by serving the people of the 7th District in Congress. In Congress, Eugene serves on the U.S. Armed Forces Services Committee and the United States Agricultural Committee. He and his wife Cindy have raised their son and daughter in Dale City, where their children attend public school. Ladies and gentlemen, Congressman Vindman.
Thank you, everybody. It's great to be here on Valentine's Day and a historic day. So let me start by saying the quote, "Under the Constitution, the freedom to marry or not marry a person of another race resides with the individual and cannot be infringed by the state." Think about that for a second. 1967 seems like a long time ago, but it really wasn't that long ago. There are many folks in this room that were around during that period of time. And I know the young folks, it's probably hard to imagine the state or anybody else telling you who you can date, who you can marry, right? But all of that started here in Caroline County when two people met and fell in love and decided to make a life for themselves together. I can't think of a more fitting way to celebrate at least part of my Valentine's Day with my wife of 28 years than just thinking about that fact for a minute, reflecting on that. Without that love, many of the folks in this room would not be here. So, so I'm Congressman Eugene Vindman, and I'm honored to represent Caroline County in Congress, one of 11 counties in the 7th Congressional District, and part of 780,000 of my fellow Americans that I'm privileged to represent. So I want to thank law enforcement for being here today, the members of the council, dignitaries, and thank you for inviting me to be here today. And thank you to the Loving family for being here to mark this momentous turning point in our history, both for your family and for the Commonwealth. Although I know Mildred and Richard Loving did not set out to make history, they were regular people just trying to live their lives. In this very courtroom, they represent the starting point of a change that shaped the nation. Today, this historic courtroom, under the watchful eyes of Queen Caroline, who's probably seen a lot, is being added to the U.S. Civil Rights Trail. This recognizes not just the beginning of a landmark legal decision, but the courage of a family whose quiet insistence on dignity helped expand freedom for millions of Americans. For Caroline County, where change began long before the country was ready to fully accept it, this recognition matters. It's a reminder that some of the most consequential civil rights victories did not begin in the grand halls of power, but in local places like this one, with ordinary people who asked only to be treated equally, and in doing so, helped bend the country closer to justice. Being added to the Civil Rights Trail is also an invitation to reflect on how far we've come. Laws have changed, rights have expanded, families today can live openly and freely in ways that they were once denied. But it's also a reminder that progress is not permanent and that the work of equality is unfinished. I am honored to present a congressional record to the Loving family recognized in the historic milestone. And I'm not going to read it, but this historic moment is being entered into the history books of the country for all time. During Black History Month, this significant moment challenges us to remember the past, honestly, honor those who endured it, and recommit ourselves to building a more just and inclusive future for those in Virginia and across the country. It is now my privilege to introduce Delegate Nicole Cole. Many of you know Nicole Cole as not only a local business woman, but also a member of the school board, and now a representative for the 66th district in Virginia, where she's already gotten to work and doing tremendous things down in Richmond. Nicole Cole is your delegate, but she's my friend. So thank you, Nicole.
Good morning, everyone, and I am happy to represent the 66th district, which includes most of Caroline County and Spotsylvania County. Good morning, and thank you for inviting me to this deeply meaningful occasion, a gathering that brings together the spirit of Black History Month with a milestone long overdue, the official recognition of the historic Caroline County Courthouse campus as a landmark on the United States Civil Rights Trail. To our honored guests, community leaders, families, and friends, your presence here today is in itself an act of remembrance and respect. Thank you. Almost a century after Mildred and Richard Loving were born into the segregated South, we are actually still fighting for marriage equality. And this November, we each can become part of history, extending the work that Mildred and Richard Loving did to codify in our Constitution in Virginia marriage equality for everyone. We're also fighting for fair elections, all of which are the freedoms that are supposed to be guaranteed by our Constitution. We celebrate in February Black History Month, a time set aside not merely to look backward, but to look clearly, to see with honest and open eyes the full arc of American history, the full arc of the American story, its struggles, its triumphs, its injustices, and its hard-won progress. it's a season of memory, but it's also a season of resolve. We gather this month every year because history does not keep itself. It must be tended. It must be told. And perhaps more importantly, it must be felt, not as a distant chronicle of names and dates, but as the living inheritance of people who endured, who resisted, who loved, and who refused to give up. Today, we tend to one such story, and it began right here in Caroline County. They did not march in Selma. They did not stand at a lunch counter. They lay in their own bed, in their own home, and refused to believe the law when it told them they did not belong together. In that quiet refusal, they became giants. Today, we mark their story in stone and in history. We add their courthouse to the trail of courage that winds through our nation. And we commit in this season of memory to keep telling this story, to keep honoring this legacy, and to keep walking toward the America they helped make possible. As we celebrate Black History Month, let us carry with us the full truth of what the Lovings gave us. A reminder that love is not a privilege to be granted by the state, but a human right. A reminder that sometimes the most revolutionary act is simply insisting on our own humanity. Thank you to everyone who worked to make this designation a reality. Thank you to the family of Richard and Mildred Loving. Thank you to Caroline County and to this community for standing as stewards of this history. I'd like to present this commendating House Resolution 106, which has this stand in Virginia history to the Loving family, specifically commending Mrs. Loving for her quiet courage and steadfast advocacy. I'd like to present this to. And last, to the Civil Rights Trail Caroline Extension Project Leadership Team, I'd like to present commending certificates for your diligent work, and I'll make sure you get these right after, okay? Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part.
I'm back. I want to thank everyone who spoke for their impassioned comments. I want to welcome a couple more people up to the microphone. I want to first ask Representative from Senator Warner's office, Cole, to come forward and read a letter of support from the representative. Can we give Cole a hand?
Good afternoon. My name is Cole Kawugule. I work in Senator Mark Warner's Richmond office. I'm here on his behalf. He wishes he could be here, but he sends greetings. I'm going to go ahead and read part of this letter from Senator Warner. I am pleased to extend my warmest congratulations to you and your family as the historic courthouse campus is added to the United States Civil Rights Trail. As Americans, we have a duty to share and remember our entire history, the good and the bad. The United States Civil Rights Trail does just this by sharing the stories and experiences of African Americans before and during the Civil Rights Movement. The sites being added to the trail in Caroline County today shed light on the Loving v. Virginia Supreme Court case, allowing Americans to visit where Richard and Mildred Loving were arrested, tried, and jailed. It is because of their courage and their love for one another in the face of inequality and injustice that laws banning interracial marriage were struck down in the United States. With these sites now added to the United States Civil Rights Trail, may your family's role in our nation's history always be remembered. Thank you.
Thank you, Cole. Next up is Representative from Senator Tim Kaine's office. Devin, can you come up?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Devin Schweers. I'm in the Fredericksburg office for Senator Tim Kaine. I serve as the regional assistant. Unfortunately, he can't be here with you today, but he sent his regards. I have a letter from the senator that I'd like to read to you. Dear loving family, I write to congratulate you on the establishment of the Caroline County Courthouse as an addition to our nation's civil rights trail. The establishment of this site is a tremendous accomplishment for Caroline County, Virginia, and the nation. The addition of the courthouse exemplifies your work to educate individuals on our country's diverse and cultural history. A pillar of American values expressed in the 14th Amendment to the Constitution is the right of all Americans to receive equal protection under the law as a fundamental right, giving citizens freedom to marry. Receive equal protection under the law as a fundamental right, giving citizens freedom to marry. As a result, Loving v. Virginia set legal precedent, laying the groundwork for other important cases that followed. It is fitting that the Caroline County Courthouse is added to the Civil Rights Trail because of its incredibly important place in this country's history. Please accept my best wishes as you celebrate this moment. Senator Tim Kaine.
Thank you, Devin. And thank you both for those letters of support from Senator Warner and Kaine. Now I will read a letter of recognition to the Loving family from Governor Abigail Spanberger. She says, "Dear Misfortune and family, I wish to offer my sincere appreciation to you and the entire Loving family for the steadfast love and strength you all have shown over the past few decades. Despite your parents' unjust arrest and indictment, your family has been an example of the power of courage and determination. Your parents played a crucial role in the history of our nation as they fought for justice. Their fight resulted in the ban of anti-miscegenation laws, and you have beautifully carried on their legacy. As you celebrate the addition of the 3 sites of the Loving v. Virginia Supreme Court case to the United States Civil Rights Trail, know that you have earned the respect and admiration of a grateful Commonwealth. Virginia honors the sacrifices you have endured and thanks you for your bravery. We often say Virginia is for lovers. I want you to know that Virginia is for the Loving family too. Sincerely, Abigail D. Spanberger." Ready, Miss Kathy? All right. She's coming back.
Well, I've been having a really good time. I hope everybody else has been too. This has been quite the afternoon. As we kind of start to shut down this part of the afternoon, I would like to remind folks, the fun part too, the reception is getting ready to start at the Bowling Green Town Hall. So Bowling Green Town Hall, we are on our way. In just a few minutes, we will be having the family come up and get back on the bus, and we will drive you around. We hope everybody here will come to the Bowling Green Town Hall so that we can have cupcakes and all kinds of stuff going on over there. As you leave the room, our staff will be handing you an envelope. This envelope signifies the commemorative coin for this event that we have had commissioned. Of course, it's stuck on a boat somewhere and didn't make it, but it will be here by the middle of March. So here's a picture of the coin. Here's how you get in touch with us. My business card is in this envelope, and we will have these coins. If I have to swim, we will have these coins by the middle of March. So we appreciate your patience. Thank you. And our hostess of the mostest with Juanita and Joan Dudley, they have really been a lifesaver through this whole process. And the rest of the Caroline tourism crew is at the Bowling Green Town Hall. And like I said, we are on our way. So Loving family, our chariot is right where we left it, right out here on the side. So if you would like to join us, back out the way we came and get on the bus, and we will get you to the cupcakes. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this afternoon.